They cut me out of Thanksgiving, told me I was selfish, mean-spirited, that I'd embarrassed my sister Taylor in front of everyone at her baby shower. All I did was ask one question. If you're having triplets, why is there only one heartbeat on the ultrasound? My mother's face went white. My father told me to leave immediately. Taylor burst into tears and called me jealous. 2 weeks later, I got the text. Don't bother coming to Thanksgiving. You've done enough damage. So I stayed home that Thursday, eating takeout Chinese food alone, watching my family's Instagram stories of their perfect holiday celebration. Then, at 10:32 p.m., Taylor's boyfriend Marcus called me. His voice was shaking, desperate. Your sister lied about everything. The pregnancy, the ultrasound, all of it. And I just found out why your parents have been protecting her. You need to know the truth before it's too late. What he told me in the next 15 minutes changed everything I thought I knew about my family. And by Friday morning, their perfect Thanksgiving dinner was the beginning of their worst nightmare. My name is Brooklyn, and I'm 32 years old. I work as a nurse practitioner in Austin, Texas. I've always been the responsible one in my family, the problem solver, the one who asks the hard questions that make everyone uncomfortable. My younger sister Taylor, 28, has always been the golden child. The one who could do no wrong, the one everyone protected, the one whose feelings mattered more than anyone else's. Growing up, I watched my parents excuse every one of Taylor's mistakes. Shoplifting at 15? Just a phase. Cheating her way through college? The professor had it out for her. Getting fired from 3 jobs in 2 years? Bad bosses, every single time. Meanwhile, I worked my way through nursing school with student loans and night shifts. I bought my own car, paid my own rent, built my own life without asking for help. The baby shower happened 6 weeks before Thanksgiving. My mother had rented out a beautiful event space in downtown Austin. Everything was decorated in shades of pink, blue, and yellow because Taylor claimed she was keeping the gender a surprise. We're having triplets, she'd announced on social media 3 months earlier. 3 miracles. I'm so blessed. The post had over 500 likes. Comments poured in with congratulations and excitement. My parents were over the moon. Their first grandchildren, and 3 at once. Taylor basked in the attention, posting daily updates about her pregnancy symptoms, her cravings, her preparations for motherhood. But something felt off to me from the beginning. Taylor didn't look pregnant. At what she claimed was 5 months along with triplets, she should have been showing significantly. Instead, she looked exactly the same as she always had. When I asked her about it, she got defensive. Every pregnancy is different, Brooklyn. Just because you're a nurse doesn't mean you know everything about my body. I let it go. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe she was one of those women who didn't show much. But the doubt lingered. At the baby shower, there were at least 60 people. Friends, family, co-workers of my parents, people from Taylor's social media following who'd become invested in her triplet journey. The gifts were excessive. 3 of everything. 3 cribs, 3 car seats, 3 high chairs. My parents had set up a college fund for each baby. My father kept telling everyone how proud he was, how Taylor was going to be an amazing mother. Taylor sat in a throne-like chair at the front of the room, wearing a flowing pink dress, her hand resting on her stomach. She looked radiant, happy, the center of attention exactly where she loved to be. Marcus, her boyfriend of 2 years, stood beside her, smiling but quiet. I noticed he seemed uncomfortable, but I figured he was just overwhelmed by all the attention. The shower progressed with the usual games and activities. Then came the moment everyone had been waiting for. Taylor announced she was going to show everyone the ultrasound video. She'd been teasing it for weeks, saying she had the most amazing footage of all 3 babies. The room went dark. Taylor pulled up the video on a large screen. Grainy black and white images appeared, the familiar sight of an ultrasound. I watched carefully. I'd seen thousands of ultrasounds in my career. I knew what to look for. The video showed one clear gestational sac. One fetus. One heartbeat flickering on the screen. Not three. One. I waited for the video to continue, to show the other two babies. But it ended. The lights came back on. Everyone applauded and cooed over the images. I sat there, confused. Had I missed something? I pulled out my phone and quickly Googled triplet ultrasounds. Every image showed 3 distinct sacs, 3 fetuses, often taken from multiple angles to capture all 3 babies. Taylor's video showed 1 baby. Just 1. I looked around the room. Nobody else seemed to notice. Or maybe they didn't know what they were looking at. But I knew. I'd seen enough ultrasounds to be absolutely certain. My mother was crying happy tears, hugging Taylor. My father was showing the video to relatives on his phone. Marcus stood off to the side, his expression unreadable. I should have kept my mouth shut. I should have waited, asked Taylor privately. But the words came out before I could stop them. Taylor, can I ask you something about the ultrasound? The room went quiet. Taylor turned to me, her smile faltering slightly. Sure, what? If you're having triplets, why is there only 1 heartbeat on the video? Only 1 gestational sac? The silence that followed was crushing. Every eye in the room turned to me, then to Taylor. My mother's face drained of color. My father's expression hardened. Taylor's eyes filled with tears. What are you talking about? Taylor's voice trembled. There were 3 babies. You just didn't see them all. Taylor, I'm a nurse practitioner. I've seen hundreds of ultrasounds. That video showed 1 baby. Where are the other 2? My mother stood up abruptly. Brooklyn, that's enough. I'm just asking a legitimate question. If she's carrying triplets. You're embarrassing your sister, my father said, his voice cold. At her own baby shower. In front of all these people. I'm not trying to embarrass anyone. I'm trying to understand. Get out. My father's voice was sharp, final. Leave now. Dad, I just want to know. I said leave. You've done enough damage. Taylor was sobbing now, her hands covering her face. Marcus had his arm around her, but he was looking at me with an expression I couldn't quite read. Was it anger? Or something else? I stood up, my face burning with humiliation. Everyone was staring at me like I was a monster. I grabbed my purse and walked out, hearing the whispers start before I even reached the door. The next day, my phone exploded with messages from family members. From my mother, I can't believe you would do that to your sister. She's devastated. From my aunt, what's wrong with you? Attacking a pregnant woman at her own shower? From my cousin, you've always been jealous of Taylor. This is a new low. From Taylor herself, I hope you're happy. You ruined the best day of my life. I never want to speak to you again. I tried to defend myself, tried to explain that I was just asking a medical question, that something about the ultrasound didn't make sense. But nobody wanted to hear it. In their eyes, I was the villain who'd attacked a pregnant woman out of jealousy and spite. My best friend Zara was the only one who listened when I explained what happened. You really think she's not pregnant with triplets? Zara asked. I know what I saw. That ultrasound showed 1 baby. Maybe she is pregnant, but not with 3. Why would she lie about something like that? I don't know. Attention? She's always craved being the center of everything. Triplets are rare, special. People treat you differently when you're carrying multiples. But that's a huge lie to maintain. What happens when she has the babies and there's only 1? I have no idea. Maybe she's planning to say she lost 2 of them? I don't know how she thinks this is going to work. 2 weeks later, the text arrived from my mother. Short and brutal. Don't bother coming to Thanksgiving. You've done enough damage. Taylor needs to be surrounded by people who support her, not people who tear her down. I stared at that message for a long time. Cut out of Thanksgiving. Excluded from my family's holiday because I'd asked one question based on medical knowledge. I called my mother. She answered on the fifth ring. Mom, please. Can we talk about this? There's nothing to talk about, Brooklyn. You embarrassed Taylor in front of 60 people. You questioned her pregnancy, her honesty, everything. She's been crying for 2 weeks. I wasn't trying to embarrass her. I was asking a legitimate medical question. That ultrasound? Stop. Just stop. I don't want to hear your excuses. Taylor is pregnant with triplets. The doctor confirmed it. You're just jealous because you're 32 and single while your younger sister is building a family. The accusation stung because it wasn't entirely untrue. I was single. I'd been so focused on my career that relationships had taken a back seat. But I wasn't jealous of Taylor. I was concerned. Mom, I'm not jealous. I'm worried. Something doesn't add up. The only thing that doesn't add up is your behavior. You're not welcome at Thanksgiving. I'm sorry, but that's final. She hung up. I spent the next 2 weeks trying to make sense of everything. I looked at Taylor's social media posts about the pregnancy. She'd been documenting everything since the announcement. Photos of her with her hand on her belly. Posts about morning sickness, cravings, preparations. But in none of the photos did she actually look pregnant. She wore flowing dresses and strategic angles, but there was no visible baby bump. I tried to let it go. Tried to focus on work, on my own life. But I couldn't shake the feeling that something was very wrong. Thanksgiving Day arrived. I'd been invited to Zara's family dinner, but I spent most of the day alone in my apartment, feeling sorry for myself. Around evening, I started seeing the Instagram posts from my family's celebration. My mother's post, a photo of the beautifully set table. Grateful for family and the blessings coming soon. My father's post, him and Taylor, his arm around her shoulders. My beautiful daughter and my 3 grandchildren on the way. Taylor's post. Her and Marcus, both smiling. Thankful for this man, this family, and these 3 miracles growing inside me. I noticed Taylor was wearing another flowing dress. Still no visible pregnancy. I was getting ready for bed around 10:30 when my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost ignored it, but something made me answer. Brooklyn? The voice was male, urgent, stressed. Yes? Who is this? It's Marcus. Taylor's boyfriend. Please don't hang up. I need to talk to you. I sat up straight. Marcus? What's going on? I'm in my car outside a 7-Eleven about 15 miles from your parents' house. I left the dinner early. Told them I wasn't feeling well. But I can't go back there. I can't keep doing this. Keep doing what? What are you talking about? He took a shaky breath. Your sister isn't pregnant with triplets. She's not pregnant at all. The world seemed to tilt. What? She's been faking it. The whole thing. The pregnancy announcement, the ultrasound, everything. It's all fake. How is that possible? She showed everyone an ultrasound. She bought it online. There are websites that sell fake ultrasounds. You can customize them, add multiple babies, put whatever date you want. She bought one that showed triplets, but she accidentally showed the wrong file at the baby shower. The one baby ultrasound was from the same website, just a different order. I felt like I couldn't breathe. Why? Why would she do this? Attention. Money. Control. All of it. His voice cracked. Brooklyn, I've been living in hell for 3 months. I found out about the fake pregnancy 6 weeks ago, right before the baby shower. I confronted her, and she broke down, admitted everything. But then she begged me not to tell anyone. Said she'd been planning to fake a miscarriage of 2 of the babies, then eventually lose the 3rd one too. She promised she'd end it soon. And you believed her? I didn't know what else to do. I was in shock. And then you asked that question at the baby shower, and I thought maybe it was over, maybe the truth would come out. But your parents, he stopped. What about my parents? They know, Brooklyn. They've known from the beginning. My stomach dropped. That's impossible. It's not. Taylor told them about the fake pregnancy 2 weeks after she announced it. She panicked, thought she couldn't pull it off. But instead of making her come clean, they helped her. Your father has been giving her money to buy baby things to make it look real. Your mother has been coaching her on what to say, how to act. They've been protecting her because they're more worried about the family's reputation than the truth. I don't understand. Why would they do that? Because Taylor threatened to hurt herself if they didn't help her. She said if they forced her to admit the truth, she'd kill herself. Your parents panicked. They decided it was easier to maintain the lie than risk losing her. And they figured eventually Taylor would fake a miscarriage and everything would be over. I was pacing my apartment now, my mind racing. But the baby shower. All those gifts. All that money people spent. I know. It's fraud. Actual fraud. People gave thousands of dollars worth of gifts based on a lie. Your parents keep saying Taylor will return everything after she fakes the miscarriage, but Brooklyn, she has no intention of doing that. She's been selling some of the gifts online already. I've seen the receipts. This is insane. This is actually insane. There's more. Marcus's voice dropped lower. The reason they cut you out of Thanksgiving, the reason they've been so aggressive about protecting Taylor, is because they know you're the only one who would expose this. You're the only one in the family who asks questions, who knows enough about medicine to spot the inconsistencies. They've been planning to discredit you, make you look jealous and unstable so that if you did figure out the truth, nobody would believe you. I thought about my mother's accusations that I was jealous. The messages from family calling me cruel and vindictive. It had all been deliberate. Why are you telling me this now? Because tonight at dinner, your father said something that scared me. He was drinking, getting comfortable. He pulled me aside and told me that if you kept asking questions, they'd need to take more serious steps. He mentioned having a friend who's a therapist, said they could have you evaluated, make it look like you were having a breakdown. He said the family needed to be protected from your instability. My blood ran cold. He wants to have me committed? I think so. Or at least damage your professional reputation enough that nobody would believe you if you went public with the truth about Taylor. Brooklyn, I know you have no reason to trust me. I should have come forward sooner. But I was scared. Taylor's not stable. When I confronted her about the pregnancy, she threatened to accuse me of abuse if I told anyone. She said she'd ruin my life. Do you have proof? Of any of this? Some. I have text messages between Taylor and your mother discussing the fake pregnancy. I have receipts showing Taylor bought the ultrasound images online. I have photos of some of the baby gifts she's been selling. It's not everything, but it's enough to show this is real. Send it to me. Send me everything. I will. But Brooklyn, you need to be careful. Your family is desperate to keep this quiet. They're not going to let you expose this without a fight. I don't care. If what you're saying is true, they're committing fraud. They're lying to dozens of people, taking their money and gifts under false pretenses. That's illegal. I know. That's why I'm calling you. Because someone needs to stop this before it gets worse. Taylor's already talking about doing it again in the future, claiming another triplet pregnancy for more attention. Your parents think they can just keep covering for her forever. We talked for another 10 minutes. Marcus explained how the fake pregnancy had started, how Taylor had convinced herself it was harmless, just a way to get attention and feel special. How it had snowballed into something she couldn't control. How my parents had enabled it every step of the way, more concerned with family image than with getting Taylor help. After we hung up, I sat in my dark apartment, trying to process everything. My sister was faking a triplet pregnancy. My parents knew and were helping her. They were planning to discredit me to protect their lies. My phone buzzed. An email from an address I didn't recognize. Subject line, evidence. I opened it to find a folder full of files. Screenshots of text messages between Taylor and my mother. Taylor, Brooklyn's asking too many questions. What do I do? Mom, ignore her. She's just jealous. We'll handle it. Taylor, but what if she tells people the ultrasound was fake? Mom, nobody will believe her. We'll make sure of it. There were receipts from websites selling fake ultrasound images. Bank statements showing my father had transferred $12,000 to Taylor's account over the past 3 months, marked as baby expenses. Photos of baby shower gifts listed on resale websites. And there was a recording. Audio file labeled Thanksgiving Conversation. I played it with shaking hands. My father's voice, Brooklyn's becoming a problem. She's not going to let this go. My mother, what do you suggest? My father. I have a friend, Dr. Reeves. Therapist. Owes me a favor. We could arrange for an evaluation, express concerns about Brooklyn's mental state. If we can get her on record as unstable, nobody will take her seriously if she starts making accusations. Taylor's voice, will that really work? My father, it's worked before. Remember Aunt Rochelle? After she started asking questions about that investment, we had her evaluated. Nobody's listened to her since. I stopped the recording, feeling sick. They'd done this before. To my aunt, to who knows how many other people who'd questioned their stories. I forwarded everything to my own email, then to a secure cloud account. Then I sat down and started researching. Fraud laws in Texas. Civil penalties for obtaining money or property under false pretenses. Criminal statutes about deception. What Taylor had done was illegal. What my parents were doing to cover it up was illegal. And they were planning to destroy my reputation, possibly my career, to keep their secrets safe. I spent all of Friday researching and planning. I called a lawyer specializing in family law and fraud. His name was Robert Chen. And after I explained the situation and sent him the evidence Marcus had provided, he agreed to take my case. This is clear fraud, Robert said. Your sister obtained thousands of dollars worth of gifts and monetary contributions based on false pretenses. That's illegal. Your parents' involvement makes them accomplices. And their plans to damage your professional reputation could constitute defamation and conspiracy. What should I do? First, we document everything. Second, we contact the police and file a report. Third, we reach out to everyone who gave gifts at that baby shower and inform them of the situation. They have a right to know they were defrauded. My family will destroy me for this. They're already trying to destroy you. You're just fighting back with the truth. On Saturday, I filed a police report. The officer who took my statement was skeptical at first, but after reviewing the evidence, his expression changed. This is serious, he said. Fraud, conspiracy, potentially harassment and defamation. We'll need to investigate, but based on what you've shown me, there's definitely cause for concern. How long will an investigation take? Depends. Few weeks, maybe longer. We'll need to interview witnesses, verify the evidence, build a case. In the meantime, I'd suggest you protect yourself. If your family is planning to damage your reputation, you need to be proactive. I spent the rest of the weekend drafting a statement. Clear, factual, backed by evidence. I explained what had happened at the baby shower, what I'd discovered since, what my family had been planning. I attached copies of the fake ultrasound receipts, the text messages, the audio recording. Then I sent it to every family member who'd been at that baby shower. Every person who'd sent gifts or money. Every friend and relative who'd congratulated Taylor on her triplet pregnancy. The response was immediate and explosive. My phone started ringing within minutes. Text messages poured in. Some people were supportive, thanking me for telling the truth. Others were angry, calling me vindictive and cruel. But most were simply shocked. My mother called 15 times. I didn't answer. My father sent a text, "What have you done? You've destroyed this family." I replied, "I told the truth." "You destroyed this family by lying." Taylor's response came through social media. She posted a long statement claiming I was having a mental breakdown, that I was making up lies out of jealousy, that she had medical documentation proving her triplet pregnancy was real. But people were asking questions now. Asking to see the documentation. Pointing out the inconsistencies. Asking why she'd never looked pregnant. The comments on her post were brutal. If you're really pregnant, why have you never shown a baby bump? Can you post actual medical records from your doctor? This sounds like Brooklyn might be telling the truth. By Sunday afternoon, Taylor's Instagram account was deleted. Her Facebook went private. She was in full retreat. Marcus called me Sunday evening. "Thank you," he said quietly. "I should have done this months ago. I was a coward. You came forward eventually. That's what matters." Taylor's been calling me non-stop. Threatening me, begging me, trying to manipulate me into saying I lied about everything. But I'm done. I gave a statement to the police this afternoon. Told them everything I know. How are you holding up? Honestly? I feel like I can breathe for the first time in months. It's terrifying, but it's also relief, you know? I knew exactly what he meant. The police investigation moved quickly. With Marcus's testimony and the documentary evidence, they had a solid case. Within 2 weeks, charges were filed. Taylor was charged with fraud and theft by deception. My parents were charged as accomplices. The total value of gifts and money obtained under false pretenses was estimated at over $35,000. The local news picked up the story. Woman fakes triplet pregnancy, defrauds dozens at baby shower. It went viral. People were outraged, fascinated by the audacity of the lie. My family's reputation was destroyed. My father's business suffered as clients pulled their accounts. My mother's social circle evaporated as friends cut ties. Taylor became a cautionary tale, a punchline, a symbol of social media deception gone too far. I testified at their trial in March. Sat in the witness box and explained how I'd noticed the inconsistencies, how I'd been cut out of Thanksgiving for asking questions, how Marcus had revealed the truth. The prosecutor asked me, "Did you ever suspect your family would go this far to protect a lie?" "No," I said honestly. "I thought they valued truth. I thought they valued integrity. I was wrong." The jury convicted on all counts. Taylor got 18 months in jail and 5 years probation. She was ordered to pay restitution to everyone who'd given gifts. My parents each got a year in county jail and 3 years probation for their roles as accomplices. I sat in that courtroom and watched the verdicts come in. My mother cried. My father looked defeated. Taylor stared at me with pure hatred in her eyes. I felt nothing. No satisfaction, no vindication. Just sadness for what my family had become. After the trial, Marcus reached out one more time. "I'm leaving Austin," he said. "Starting over somewhere else. Too many memories here. But I wanted to say thank you again. And I'm sorry I didn't come forward sooner. You came forward when it mattered. That's what counts." What about you? What's next? I don't know. Keep working. Keep living. Try to rebuild relationships with the family members who believed me. Do you regret it? Speaking up? I thought about that question. No. They were hurting people. Someone had to stop them. A year later, I'm still in Austin. Still working as a nurse practitioner. Still rebuilding my life. Some family members have reached out, apologized for not believing me initially. My Aunt Rochelle, the one my parents had tried to discredit years ago, called me crying. "Thank you for proving I wasn't crazy," she said. "Thank you for standing up to them." We've formed a small support group, those of us who'd been targeted by my parents' manipulations over the years. Turns out there were more of us than I'd realized. Taylor writes me letters from jail sometimes. They're not apologies. They're accusations. Claims that I ruined her life, destroyed the family, acted out of jealousy. I don't respond. There's nothing to say. My parents will be released soon. I don't plan to have a relationship with them. Some bridges, once burned, can't be rebuilt. People ask me if it was worth it. If exposing the truth was worth losing my family. I tell them I didn't lose my family. I exposed the fact that I never really had one. The people I called family were willing to lie, cheat, and destroy me to protect their image. That's not family. That's something else entirely. Real family doesn't ask you to ignore fraud. Real family doesn't cut you out for asking questions. Real family doesn't plan to destroy your reputation to cover their lies. Last week, I attended a baby shower for a friend from work. Watched her show ultrasound photos of her twins. Watched everyone congratulate her with genuine joy. And for a moment, I was back at Taylor's shower, asking that question that changed everything. I don't regret asking it. Not for a second. Because sometimes the most loving thing you can do is refuse to participate in a lie. Sometimes family means walking away from people who share your blood but not your values. Sometimes the truth costs everything, and it's still worth paying the price. I'm Brooklyn. I asked one question at a baby shower. It cost me my family, my relationship with my parents, years of peace. But it saved dozens of people from being defrauded. It exposed a pattern of manipulation that had hurt people for years. And it taught me that integrity matters more than comfort. If you're watching from somewhere, dealing with family lies, manipulation, being cut out for telling the truth, you're not alone. Sometimes seeing clearly makes you the villain in someone else's story. But that doesn't make you wrong. Truth matters. Even when it's painful. Especially when it's painful. If this story resonated with you, if you've ever been the black sheep for telling the truth, comment below and let me know. You're not alone in this. Subscribe if you believe honesty is more important than keeping the peace, and drop a blue heart if you've ever had to choose between your integrity and your family's comfort. Your truth matters. Your voice matters. And sometimes, asking one uncomfortable question is exactly what the world needs. See you in the next one.